Hello and welcome, my yarn loving friends. My name is Doug, and I'm coming to you from Albuquerque in the beautiful desert of New Mexico. I can't believe it. I'm actually sitting outside. There's only a very slight breeze, and I hope it's not gonna be bothering your sound that you're gonna get on your end. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad you're here watching. I'm glad I'm sitting here ready to talk about what I've been up to in the past 10 days. And where to start? Of course, with our knit along, the Duke Mania 2022. Gosh, did I butcher that? I completely butchered that hashtag. I think I said 3 different hashtags at some point. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is it. Duke Mania 2022. And so we're doing the knit along for my Duke City Mitts. You are knitting along with me as I am cranking out as many as I enjoy and as I want to make for the High Desert Studio Tour coming up in December, on December 3rd exactly. And yeah, I usually make the mitts with hand spun yarn or no, I shouldn't say usually. I like to make them with hand spun yarn because it's just a lot more fun. And over the years, I've made so many Duke City mitts. It's my pattern. It's free on Ravelry. You can find it there in English and in German. And yeah, I've made a lot. I've made many of them. And so I need some fun yarns, and hand spun usually fits the bill. So I've finished several more pairs, and I have them right here, so I'm gonna show you. And the hand spun is from my stash. I don't think any of these are newly spun yarns. All of these I finished fairly quickly after the last episode. Excuse me. I don't know. When I make these with hand spun yarn, I never get tired of making them. They're a little bit like vanilla socks. So if you are more someone who needs a challenging pattern for your socks, the Duke City mitts may not be for you, or you say, hey, I'm gonna make these, but mine, I'm gonna add ribbing here or there. Or I just saw a pair on Instagram where somebody had added some embroidery on the top of the hand, which I thought was really beautiful. And here you see the fit. I have, with some friends' projects, noticed that they did the thumb gusset wrong. So if your thumb gusset is very short and the thumb goes out quite at a different angle, then you have made a mistake in reading your pattern, because this is very much fitting the hand as it is. And because you work the increases and then you knit 2 rounds, not just one. And some people it happened to some people, which is not a big deal, but I think it's just nicer, and I think it will fit you better if you do it the way I wrote it. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pairs finished. I have not touched the grayish ones. anymore since last time. I may actually rip them out and add a colorful yarn and hold this one together with something bright, just to make it more fun. I don't know. Because I'm already working on another pair with hand spun yarns, which is also old hand spun stash. The braid was dyed by Gail's Art, and I think I bought the braid maybe 10 years ago and spun it maybe 5 years ago. Just a wild guess because I didn't make a note. But here's my yarn. It's really fun because the colors change all the time. Let me pull that guy out. Yeah. Love it. I have it in my vintage little bag here. Yeah, and I'm not bringing the leftovers of the yarns because they're such random amounts. I thought about it and then I thought, no, it makes no sense. It won't tell you anything if I bring that. Take a sip of coffee. And then you have seen, if you've been here for the last episode, you've seen the sweater that I am making for my daughter. It has to be done by Thursday. And I think I will tackle setting in the sleeves tonight. I think I'm a little bit nervous if they fit, if everything is good, but I'm done with the sleeves and I have blocked them yesterday. But look closely. You see something? Well, first of all, both sleeves look like they're different lengths, but which they're not. I checked many times. But look here. I made a mistake with the lace. I have no idea how it happened, but the funny thing is I fixed it in the sense of that I put the same mistake in the other sleeve. So I myself struggle finding it at times. So I know no one will see it. And I'm normally very OCD about fixing things and counting stitches and counting rows. But in this case, 2 identical mistakes, they kind of, how can I say that? They kind of even each other out. You know what I mean? So it's all good. Yes, and by the next time I will hopefully have some amazing pictures of her wearing this. And I hope it fits, because if anything is wrong, I will not rip back, because this has cost me all my concentration, all my abilities and whatnot. If you're curious, watch the last episode and you will see what I'm talking about, because I had to make a lot of changes. I made a lot of changes. I adjusted the lace and whatnot. And this is an original picture of the sweater, the way it looks like in the magazine. It's a German magazine. It's called Rebecca, and it's the number 30. Rebecca, number 30. What next? There's not really a lot, because I've been working on the Dukes, and I have knitted on a tiny bit on my shawl that I make. It's getting breezy. Oh my goodness. So this is the shawl that I'm using hand spun mini skeins for. And all of these minis have been, the fibers have been prepared on a drum carder, and that's why the colors are more blended than versus what I showed you, what I use for the fingerless mitts, where the colors change all the time. And I always do 2-ply yarns. Rarely do I spin a singles yarn, and I've never Navajo plied, and I have never done a 3-ply. And I am using my Landrum Saxony wheel, which is a fairly large and fast and gorgeous wheel that I've owned for, let me think, probably about 17 years now. Yeah, love it, no regrets. I also have the Landrum folding wheel, but right now I use almost exclusively the larger wheel. So last time I think I was here and I've added about 3 inches, 2 inches. Yeah, love it. I didn't touch the sweater for my brother, and I spun another mini yesterday. Come on, are you focusing? Doesn't want to focus too close. So this I spun last night, which of course is going to be added here. I have been spinning so much in the past week, so it's like when I get up and I think, how am I going to start my day? I want to start it at the wheel, which of course isn't always possible, but still, it's just so nice. Occasionally, I allow myself to start the day with spinning. And I brought you what I have made. This is, and trust me, I learned my lesson. I wrote it all down. Because you think you'll remember, but you don't. So this is 70/30 BFL silk. It's 65 grams, and this was dyed by me. And this is also the same quality, and I think both braids were dyed 2 years ago, I think. This is, let me turn so you don't see that knot. This is 76 grams of BFL, which also refers to a sheep race. In case you don't know, it's called also Blueface Leicester. And this is Corriedale. It's 4 ounces, and I spun it purposely a little bit heavier for fingerless mitts, as well as this. And the I never told you what my mitts weigh, but 2 ounces are a good amount if you don't excessively lengthen the section at the wrist. Then I brought you a braid of Corriedale, which matches this guy. Or am I getting it mixed up? No, I don't. Wait a second. No, it's not this one. I think it's this one. Goodness gracious. I guess I'm playing yarn all the time. Playing with fibers and spinning fibers and hand spun yarn, I mean. So this is 55 grams of Corriedale, very similar. And yeah, this one never made it in the shop because I was dealing at times with a separation of course, now I don't find it. Something like this. Do you see the white spot? And I'm actually thinking that it's lanolin that got separated from the braid in the dye process. And I don't know, it hasn't happened this year, but when I dyed this, probably, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, I had that issue. No idea why. And then this is very gorgeous. The one that is dyed by a dyer in Germany. She specialized in spinning fibers, and her name was Elfenwolle. And I know she sold braids to people in the US. But as far as I know, she's not dyeing anymore. She's changed her path in life. And this is 100 grams of a blend of 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And I just love the fall colors. So pretty. Really enjoyed spinning this. And here's the last one. This is 77 grams of Shetland fibers. I need to tell you something. First of all, let me thank those of you who already went shopping in my online shop. Because what happened was I announced it on Instagram that I have shifted my online shop to my own website. And the crazy thing is, what I never thought was going to happen, I did it by myself. I still feel like Wonder Woman that I worked things out, but alas, I did. And you found the shop and it worked, and it's all really, really great. I cannot handle a large volume of orders in a very reasonable, timely manner. I mean, which means not that I cannot handle it, but I'm not fast at dealing with orders. It just takes time. And but I'm super excited that it's done, and things are being added to the shop, and excuse me, and the first batch of fiber is already sold out. And as of now, if you're a spinner, I have a lot of Corriedale added to the shop. In fact, I have all of my Corriedale added to the shop. And if that is something that you're interested in, stay till the end, because I'm going to do a quick, I'm going to go quickly through what I have in the shop. And there will be other things slowly added, and among them some mini skein sets and some yarns, of course, always yarn, because that's what this is mainly about. But I'm also super happy that I'm getting the fibers done. And yes, there's one thing that I am not adding to the shop because I'm not perfect at that kind of fiber prep. I love spinning ponies because I don't even know. It's just so fun to watch the colors mix. And just last night I thought, wow, let me just mix some braids and make some ponies. And so I actually the reason was I wanted to spin some fibers, and I thought this is not going to be enough for fingerless mitts, so I needed to add a little bit of weight to get to my required yardage. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to make some ponies. And the way I do these, I have a Strauch drum carder, an electric one, and so I make one bat essentially, and then I roll off the ponies. I go backward and I roll off the ponies bit by bit, and it's just, that's why they're also very irregular. Some are heavier, some are lighter, smaller, and these guys I have exactly the same amount, so this is half of what I did. Fairly dark colors and mainly blue and burgundy with a hint of silk and also some alpaca that I put in. And a part of what I drum carded, I turned into a skein that I had to wash, or I didn't have to, I wanted to wash, and it's just so glorious. Still very wet. Isn't it just beautiful? So happy with this. So this one will also go into my hand spun shawl from leftovers. That was, in case you didn't see that last time, inspired by Kia of the Kia Spot Wool Magic podcast. Hi, Kia. Yes, so that's the handspun yarn, but I did want to show you something that that has kept my mind busy. I've been thinking so much about it in the past days and weeks since I went through all my old, or many of my old knitting magazines. And I probably showed you this sweater last time. I think I did. And I want to make this for myself. I have not made anything else for my daughter, and I started that crochet dress and I couldn't figure it out how it's done. It was a written instruction and I don't know what happened, but I mean, I'm not sure if there's a mistake in the instructions. Maybe I'll try again another time, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to kind of to whip it out easily. And so I thought, okay, this is going to have to wait. I'll focus on my fingerless mitts so I don't get stressed out about making those. But at the same time, the thought is also a little bit intimidating with that crochet. Look if they have, hopefully, a oh yes, there's a chart for the flowers, so that's good. That is a lot easier for me. So hopefully that's gonna work out. And the magazine is called, it's a German magazine, sorry American people. Yeah, so Stricktrends, spring 2016, in case you own this magazine. Yeah. So now, of course, so here's the thing. I'm a horrible procrastinator. So good for me, yay, that I started early on the Duke City Mitts. And yay for me that I am already thinking about this sweater. And I actually think I will probably do I'm probably going to do a gauge swatch soon, because I want to make this sweater for the High Desert Studio Tour and wear it that day. Yes. So, of course, I cannot dye anything like this. I probably talked about this last time. I don't know. But I'm thinking, duh, hand spun totally fits the bill, you know, because it changes colors in a very unpredictable way. And I'm thinking I'm thinking that I would want a sweater with a nice drape. So I'm digging through my stash and I found, yes, I have a lot of hand spun. I found these two that must contain either tencel or silk. Bad doggy spinner, because I only weighed it today. There was not even a tag. So that's 203 grams. And this one is 237 grams. And I probably bunched up 2 skeins or so. But what I will do is I will calculate the yardage and then I'll figure out which one would be better. I haven't even looked at the instructions in detail, what needle size and all of that jazz I would need. So I found these 2 skeins, and sorry, noisy. I also found this, which is 100% bamboo. And I mean, I was looking for something drapey, but still, because it has, well, this is not enough anyways, but I pulled it out maybe as an accent somehow. And then there is this another gorgeous green, superwash merino and Seacell, which is very interesting. Sadly, it doesn't give me the relation of the content. I'd be curious, but this is 210 yards and 3 3/4 ounces. And I have this, which is merino bamboo, also really gorgeous. These were once, I don't know where I was as a vendor. Maybe one of the Fiber Arts Fiestas years ago, but I've never really, except with one exception, I've never really sold hand spun yarn. People either buy to spin themselves, or I don't even know. And I don't think I'm expensive, because this is 3.5 ounces for $31.50. All right. So, like I said, merino bamboo. And then I have this, which is also glorious. 235 grams. And the yardage for this must be quite substantial, because it's a quite finely spun yarn. Again, no clue about the fiber content, but it's something with silk, bamboo, tencel, and something of that sort. And then, oh yes, I'm looking in the basket. What else? I knew there was something else. And then there's Redfish Dye Works. I always have shopped at Redfish Dye Works in Albuquerque. There, 50/50 merino silk. Here I knitted a tiny sample just to see how the lace turned out. Here's the whole ball. It's my little extra, and 2015, 7 years ago. Yes. So I'm already getting somewhere. So this might be awesome as the flowers for the sweater. And then I need a darker contrast color to frame the flowers, which would be green here, but I'll see what I do if I could use this, but it's almost a little bit dull next to the orange. What do you think? Definitely a possibility. And then I had combined the Redfish Dye Works in a bag with this. But I don't think I can use this for the sweater because I don't think it's enough. And yeah, I don't know what this is. Horrible. I keep telling you, I gotta fire that secretary. She's just doing such a terrible job. Do you ever do that? That you dig into your stash and you pull something out because you have an idea and all of a sudden you're like, this is gorgeous. I have to make something with it. Happens to me all the time. So now I have all these options for the sweater, and I still have more. I do have some 50/50 merino silk fibers that are undyed so far. So I could even dye up some bright green as a contrast for orange flowers. Also an option. I always like to share my thought process with these things. Sometimes you never hear from things anymore. Sometimes something happens. I am done with everything that I have been spinning and knitting, and with my ideas, sharing those as I always like to do. And now I've brought my current selection of spinning fibers that I have added to the Ziaul's shop. And you will notice, if you are not in the USA, I haven't figured out, or I should say that my website that I work from doesn't have a very good setup for the shipping. So I just can't ship to Germany right now. It's too, I don't know. I am not that far advanced yet. So I apologize to you if you are not in the US, that this is at this point not available to you. For my friends in the US, here's what's in the shop. And like I said, there will be more added soon. This is a merino tencel, 60/40. And I have another one of these. And here comes, I will tell you the numbers. They don't have names. They are numbered to make things a little bit easier for me, especially when I'm handling such a large volume. So I will just tell you the numbers. So if you see something where you're like, oh, I must have it, take note of the number. Number 9. Number 8. Number 7. One. 3, 10, 4, 2, 5, and last but not least, the number 6. And that's all from me today. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're having something fun on your needles or on your wheel. And until I see you again, happy knitting.